Hi, this is Buck with MyAquarium.Rocks, and today I'm starting a series of 5 videos, one for each of my aquariums in the home that I've been keeping for a while. One of those aquariums has been taken down, but I'm still going to highlight it and talk about it because of the lessons learned in that aquarium. And today I want to start with this aquarium. It is my Tetra aquarium. It is the fish in it. Most of the Tetras are 5 years old, except the glow lights are about 3 years old. And I have no idea how old any of the plecos and cory cats are, except for the parents, which are about 3 years old, because that's when they were put in the aquarium. When I moved it from a 20 to the 30, they were added to the tank, and the cleaner fish that I had in the 20 got moved to another aquarium. So the grass in there is Java fern. It looks ugly because I had duckweed in here. Duckweed blocked the light. I didn't take care of the cleaning out the duckweed and stuff for a while, and it just overwhelmed the tank. It does that pretty fast. And so as you can see, it took up the nutrients and light from the Java fern, and I've taken it out, so I'm hoping the Java fern recovers. I also took out half of the Java fern and threw it out. So if you can imagine, 1.5 inches of duckweed at the top of the aquarium and twice as much Java fern at the bottom of the aquarium. This was a pretty full aquarium when it came to greenery. So that's been cleaned up. That was also lesson learned for this tank. That was my big mistake on this one. When I took it out, it's caused the tank to cycle. Had an ammonia spike and possibly nitrates. I don't know. Don't really test for nitrates that much. I don't have a problem with nitrates anytime I've ever tested for them, because I always have an overabundance of plants and they eat up the nitrates. But I had at least a dozen little pleco fry that all died. They're nowhere to be found now. I had about 5 each of all of my 3 different Tetras in there, and now I've got 5 of the black veils. They survive. That's a tough fish. I love those guys anyway. Now the orange one is a different story I'll tell you about. But and then I have the black neons. They're also about 5 years old. I think one of them was 3 years old. I have 3 of those that survived, and I have 2 of the glow lights that survived the system crash or cycle, whatever you call it. So I'll be replacing those eventually, but I need to clean out some of these other fish first. I have so many of these cory cats in particular that the tank is probably well overstocked, and now that I've cut all the grass out, it's giving it a harder time to deal with it. Also, what I did is I took the filter media out, the replaceable cartridges that I had already converted into cartridges that I rebuilt and put in there. And I have pillow stuffing, which is nothing but filter fiber, and I put it in where the water goes into the filter, and then the inside, the 2 sides of the filter cavity on the hang-on back filter is filled with lava rock, so the water flows, gets mechanically filtered going into the tank, to the hang-on back box. Then it rises up through all of the red lava rock and back into the aquarium, and hopefully that'll build up the bacteria to do more, protect more against ammonia spikes and stuff like that. I don't have much, if any. Well, I have a few duckweed pieces in there, and I'm hoping they'll live long enough to grow again. I don't want to let it get as full as it did, but I do like the duckweed because as it grows, and it grows fast, it takes out a lot of the undesirable nutrients and the nitrates. So I really want that back. So it prevents, it's really been instrumental in keeping the water changes down to almost none. So any rate, the back left corner is a Tetra brand heater, preset for 78 degrees. Very convenient, as long as it doesn't break. A while back, the heater broke, locked in the on position, and the thermometer in the bottom right corner is there so that I can check it every time I feed the fish. And when I feed the fish, I check the temperature, and the temperature was at 84 to 86 degrees. I disconnected the heater and let the aquarium cool back down, took the 200 watt out, put 100 watt in. The replacement 200 is on the way. And it has a little harder time keeping it at 78, but it keeps it between 74 and 78 or 76 and 78 degrees. So it's not doing too badly, but the temperature is swinging a little bit in the aquarium. The little terracotta cup over there, it only cost $1 at Walmart. I found that I can chip off a little piece of it, and the plecos love making a cave out of it. On the left side, you'll see a sunken ship. It's an old Navy ship that sunken, decoration, and one of the plecos has taken it as his cave. And man, a lot of babies were born in that cave, I want you to know. So now that I know that terracotta cup works real well, or saucer works real well, I'll be able to replace or to get more and put in there. Most of the containers or the caves they have for these things, $6 to $8 a piece, and I'm no thank you. I think I'll do my $1 terracotta cup and put in there. But at any rate, let's see what else. Seashells. The reason I have seashells in there, the water that I put in this aquarium is filtered through an RV filter. The RV filter has carbon filtering, and it filters out everything 150 microns or larger. It takes out chlorine, chloramines, and a bunch of the metals and other things, as well as all of the minerals, just about, that are in the city water, and leaving very soft water. And it's been very hard keeping the aquariums from crashing because of pH changes. Almost every aquarium crash that I've had has been related to pH shift, not to other things going on in the aquarium. High ammonia, most of the fish survived it, most of the fish survive any other things, but the shift in pH has proved to be deadly. And I've had a lot of struggle keeping some of my aquariums going until I discovered that the pH was dropping down to 6, and that's pretty low. So I found out that seashells will dissolve at the lower pHs, and they dissolve much less quickly at higher pHs until they get to a balance at which they won't dissolve. So I learned that by putting seashells in the aquariums, they keep the pH pretty accurate. It's like a buffer in the aquarium, and I don't have to keep adding them. Typically, I mean, they will eventually dissolve, but they don't overdo, and they, and like I said, the lower the pH, the faster they dissolve to keep it balanced. So they've done really well since I've done that. That is probably the biggest lesson I learned through the time that I've had that particular aquarium. So you'll see seashells in all of my aquariums now, and their purpose is to keep the pH balanced, because that seems to be the most important part. But at any rate, that is the first aquarium. This is my pride and joy. I've had it. The fish that are in this are the oldest of my fish. The Tetras are anyway. That are about 5 years old, most of them. The glow lights are only about 3 years old, because they came in after the aquariums were moved. And so, and the Cory cats and the plecos were put in a few months after we moved to from the 20 gallon to the 30 gallon here. So at any rate, I hope this was of interest to you. I have 4 more stories coming up about, or 4 more aquarium highlights coming up over the next 4 weeks. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And do go to my website, MyAquarium.Rocks, where there will be a lot of things that I don't put on YouTube, just because of various reasons. I mean, sometimes there are links to other YouTube articles and stuff that will be of interest, as well as some written text and stuff that I don't necessarily do on YouTube. So have a great day, and my aquarium rocks. I hope yours does too.